So here is a complex fraction. What we're going to do is solve this, or rather simplify this, using two different methods that we've discussed earlier. One is the division method, and that's what we're going to start with. In order to use the division method, first you need to take a common denominator in the numerator, combine the terms by subtraction, take a common denominator in the denominator, and then combine the terms using addition. So we're looking at the numerator now, which is a rational expression. So if the denominators are 1 and x squared, the choice is easy here. We know that x squared is the LCD. So x squared is the least common denominator. So now we have an x squared in one of the terms. Now we need an x squared in the other term. So I'm going to multiply, let me put a dot, multiply the numerator and denominator with an x squared. So what we have here is 4x squared over x squared minus 1 over x squared, which is equal to 4x squared minus 1 over x squared. Now we look at the denominator. In the denominator, we need to find the LCM of 1x and x squared. So this is x to the 1. You can ignore the 1. And this is x to the 2. Pick the largest exponent. So now that would be your LCD, the common denominator. Now in order to get an x squared here, we multiply with an x squared in the denominator and multiply with an x squared in the numerator. Now we have 4 over x, but we want to make it an x squared, so we multiply with an x in the denominator, multiply with an x in the numerator. So we have 4x squared over x squared plus 4x over x squared plus 1 over x squared. So that is a common denominator of x squared, 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. Now we use the division method. So we get 4x squared minus 1 over x squared. And now that is divided by 4x squared plus 4x plus 1 over x squared. Division changes to multiplication, and we need to flip the fraction on the right. Change it, and then this rational expression needs to be flipped. It's x squared over 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. Cancel common factors, and we have 4x squared minus 1 over 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. Now remember that the final answer has to be in the lowest terms, which means we need to factor the numerator and factor the denominator. Whenever you see a 4x squared, you know that this is a square. 4 is 2 squared, so we can write it as 2x the whole squared. And of course 1 can be written as 1 squared. This is something that you have to get used to, recognizing the pattern of a difference of squares. So when you see a square minus another square, you know that it is 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. So this is equal to 2x plus 1. Let me write it here. 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. The whole divided by, now we need to factor. Remember, we have to factor everything, and if anything cancels, we need to do that before we go to the next step. So completely factor the expressions. That is very important. Once the multiplication is done, we need to factor. Make sure that the final answer is in the lowest terms. Any factor that can be cancelled needs to be cancelled. So we have 4 times 1. So this 4 times positive 1 is 4. 4 is 2 times 2, and that works because 2 plus 2 is 4, which is equal to the middle term. So I'm going to write this as 4x squared plus 2x plus 2x, because 2x plus 2x makes a 4x plus 1. So we've not changed anything. Now take the first two terms, factor out 2, because you have a 2 and a 4, 2 goes into 4, and you have an x and an x squared. So if I factor out 2x from 4x squared, I get a 2x, and then plus 1. Factor a 1 out, and you get 2x plus 1. So this is equal to 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1, so, which is really 2x plus 1 the whole squared. Now if you had recognized that this is a perfect square, then you could have used that special product, but if you didn't, this is just another way of figuring it out. So we cancel common factors. We have 2x minus 1 over 2x plus 1, and this is the form in which you need to put the final answer. This is in the lowest terms, because at the end we factored the numerator, we factored the denominator, and presented the answer in the lowest terms by cancelling the common factors in the numerator and denominator. Now we're going to simplify this complex expression by using the second method, which is multiplying the numerator and denominator with the LCD. Now in the numerator you have 1 and x squared. In the denominator you have 1 again, x and x squared. So collect all the denominators, everything in the numerator and the denominator here, and take the LCM. The LCM of x squared and x is the larger of the two, which is x squared. So what do we do next? We take the numerator and multiply it with x squared. We take the denominator and we multiply it with x squared. So you're multiplying the numerator and denominator with the LCD. So now we'll distribute the x squared. So you have 4x squared minus 1 over x squared times x squared, the whole divided by 4 over 1. It really doesn't matter, the 1, x squared, because you're multiplying, plus 4 over x times x squared plus 1 over x squared times x squared. So now simplify. All the denominators are going to get cancelled. So there's 1x here, there are 2 here. One of them gets cancelled because it's x squared over x to the 1 is x to the 2 minus 1, rule of exponents, to the 1. So one of the x's gets cancelled, you're left with only 1x. Here the x squared gets cancelled and we're left with a 1. So let's write down what we get. 4x squared minus 1 over 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. Now from this point on, it's exactly the same as what we did last time. We factored the numerator and it was 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 1 over 2x plus 1 one of these is a plus, over 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1, which is really 2x plus 1 the whole squared. Now we cancel common factors and get the same answer. Now this rational expression is in the lowest terms.